And what I'm specifically referencing is that when you engage the military, you need to be very careful that when you put those battlefield commanders on the ground, you listen to them. And if they say you need 300,000 troops, you don't say, I'm sorry, but you're going to get 180,000 troops, and that's all you're going to get.
But you use words like bunker mentality and arrogant. She responds with ludicrous. Do you regret those specific words, not the big points you were trying to make, but those specific
They're
words
strong
that have
words.
And they have rankled people inside the White House at the highest levels, and they have become an attempt by your opponents to say this guy's not ready?
They're strong words, but this is a strong issue.
Looking back now at the dust-up this has caused within your own party, you're a Republican seeking a nomination, would you edit those words if you could write it again?
Well, I can't write it again. They're already out. This cow's out of the barn. So, would I do it again differently? I don't know. It reflects what I was trying to communicate. And again, I think sometimes we're so afraid that we're going to offend somebody that we don't take a stand. I think America is looking for a leader that takes a stand and is not so afraid of, oh, is somebody not going to like what I say? Anything I say, somebody's probably going to find fault with it. And I'd rather have people know where I'm coming from, get a clear picture of that, than to think that I'm so completely bland and vanilla that I don't have any convictions, that I don't have any thoughts or opinions that can be articulated. I think that's what leadership is about. It's taking a stand. People don't have to agree with it. I'm fine that people don't always agree with what stand I take. I think that's when you start welcoming the dialogue and the discussion that ought to come. It's when we don't have the dialogue and when we don't take stands that the country suffers.
Your rivals have tried to use this politically. Let me ask in two parts. One is Governor Romney, who raises the question about this is a Republican criticizing a Republican president. He's obviously trying to play to party loyalty in a state that President Bush has carried and where he's still popular among Republican voters, saying this guy should be over there with Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. Mike Huckabee is criticizing our president. It's disloyal.
My pretty solid assumption is he has not read the article. Someone should ask him, did he read the article before he made the comments? If not, then I think it shows a lack of preparation on his part to make comments about something that he's not familiar with. He may have since read the article, but my guess is when he first made those comments, he had not even read the article.
Senator Thompson has taken a different view. He doesn't make it about the internal Republican politics. He says he did read it, and that he finds, especially where you talk about Iran, and you say Iran was helping us in Afghanistan, Iran was willing to help the United States against al-Qaeda, and then the president says axis of evil, and the Iranians sort of retreat, because that they think all of a sudden they have an adversary in the United States. He says that essentially that you're naive, that you don't understand the threat. He says that you think that you can sweet talk.
I understand that there is clearly hostility with that nation, and we don't trust them, and we can't let them have nuclear arms. That's not an option for us. But we also have to look beneath the surface, and anytime you fire a high-powered rifle, you better know where that bullet could potentially go. And there are long-term implications of each decision that we make that we have to be very thoughtful of, get the best possible advice, and particularly not just see what it's going to do when it first hits the surface, but how deep will it go and how deep will the wound be.
I assume by that you mean that while evil empire might have been a brilliant phrase used by Ronald Reagan, axis of evil you think was a mistake that has caused long-term damage?
No, I'm not even saying the president made a mistake in calling it an axis of evil, because I think you have to look at Iran's leadership right now as truly evil. There's no doubt about that. This is not a person that we can, again, deal honestly with. He's already said that he would like to see the annihilation of Israel. He would certainly, I'm sure, be quite pleased if we disappeared. So that's not a person we sit down and have cookies and tea with, have a gift exchange at Christmas time.
If you look at our latest poll here, you're not only ahead by 8 points, you have a 2-to-1 edge over Governor Romney, who is your closest competitor, among women. A gender gap within the Republican electorate here. Why?
I talk about issues that people care about who are sitting around their kitchen table. It's not just